Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another Timely Topics. I'm Jennifer Matthew. I'm the Executive Director of the Connecticut Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and I am beyond excited to introduce to you today's Timely Topics guest. So Matt is my executive coach, a mentor, consider him a friend, and of course, he's a proud UConn alum. And so Matt always says, when making introductions of someone, share what that person means to you. So Matt has made a huge impact on my life and has helped me to navigate some of the transitions and growth within CCEI over the last few years. And I know that if you make the most of your time with Matt today, he'll leave a lasting impact on you too. So without taking up any more time, Matt, take it over.
It's mine, huh? Beautiful. Thank you. Somewhat pressure, but I'll take it. I would like to start with reading something. I invite everybody to stop what they're doing. Just be here right now. Commit to being in the presence of everyone here so that you can get the most out of this. We will stop before 1:30. And I promise you, if you fully dive in, if you fully engage, if you fully be here with your complete energy, you will get something from this. I want to read you something from Marianne Williamson. You may have heard it before. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God and graduate of UConn. Your playing small does not serve the world. That part was in there. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking, so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children and UConn grads do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That is what today is all about. That is what the next 27 minutes is all about, that last line. This is a pretty famous saying by Marianne. Usually they focus on the beginning. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. The most influential line for me is actually the last one. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. And as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's what today's about. My name is Matt Chavlovich. One of the things that I am better at than most people in the world is helping people identify their magic and then building a business and life around that. But here's what I want to know from you. This is going to be an interactive session. I want to know why you're here today. I'd like to ask you to all put in the chat, why'd you show up today? What made you spend these next 30 minutes with us? Please put in the chat. Need a boost of energy, Lisa says. Michelle spends her days focused on everybody else. Sometimes it's good to focus on you. I'd say more than sometimes, Michelle. Chris likes the word magic. Love that. Beautiful. So usually I'll help people identify their unique gifts and help them build businesses and lives. Usually I do a weekend 2-day intensive, or they spend 9 to 12 months with me over a year, coaching one-on-one. I have 30 minutes in this one. So we'll see where we go. But here's what I really also want to know. What's the one question if we answered in this session would completely change your life? Please put that in the chat. My goal today is to create a space, create an alternate thought, create a different perspective, just create an opening for you to see the world differently, for you to think differently, which in turn will help you operate differently and create differently. One insight, one space, one new perspective will change your entire life if committed to it. I will do that with questions. I will do that with answers because I'm trying to teach you how to think. I'm trying to teach you how to have options in how you think. There's no right and wrong. I'm just trying to give you a couple different options so you can choose the one that best suits you. This session is about two things, truth and commitment. The more you lean into that, the more you'll get from it. So, I repeat my question. What is the one question, if we answered in this session, if we answered that, it would completely change your life? Put that in the chat. And I want to read something else by William Murray. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves to them. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. The whole stream of events issues from the decision raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed of, come towards them. Whatever you can do or dream, you can do it. Just begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. If you're willing to commit to be all in for this session, to answer your question, to actually change how you be in the world and what you create in the world, I'm going to ask you in all caps to put "I am in" the chat. If you put "I am in," my next invitation is that you make sure you're on screen. Being all in means you're fully present. We have 20 minutes left in the session. Make a decision. Be here fully, or if you can't, that's okay. Be wherever you need to be fully and watch the recording. But be all in. I'm not attached to you being all in on this session. I'm attached to you just being all in with whatever is present for you. So I invite anybody that's not on screen to come on screen if this is where they want to be. And if not, then leave and watch the recording and be all in where you are. Here's what I ask of you today. Listen for insight. You may have heard some of the things I've said before, but maybe you missed something. Be open to hearing it differently. And secondly, be willing to play different. Be willing to show up different. This is a school of innovation and entrepreneurship. Be innovative with how you play. Be expansive. All right. I'd like to invite everybody to think about all the people they know in their world. And please put in the chat one thing that you are worse at than nearly everybody you know. What's one thing that you're worse at than nearly every person you know? Ping pong's amazing, Michelle. I love that. Math, public speaking, trivia games, skiing. I promise you're not going to say something I haven't heard before. Finishing water bottles. Rachel, well done for your creativity. Beautiful. Now I want you to think about all the people you know and tell me something that you're better at than nearly every one of them. What are you better at than nearly everybody you know? Being organized, relationship building. Since we're tight on time, I'm going to move fast. And I want to know if anyone else caught it. Did you see that it took a little longer for people to enter some answers? I'm curious, which was easier to answer for you? What you're worse at than most people you know, or what you're better at than most people? Just put worse or better. One's comfort level and their clarity around these two questions directly influences their ability to create, their ability to empower themselves, and their ability to actually be comfortable with who they are and what they are. Usually, this range dictates everything. How much are we willing to say, I'm not great at this, and I am great at this? Usually, people are much better at telling everyone what their mess is, what they're not great at. We do a great job beating ourselves up. And usually, owning our magic is actually the harder part. We get in our heads about, am I going to make other people look bad? Who am I to say this about myself? We'll go into that in a second. But I want to teach you a word. I imagine most of you have heard the word abracadabra, usually used in magic tricks. I also imagine that most of you don't actually know what it means. At least that's been my experience when I'm in front of groups. Abracadabra means I create as I speak. If you think about a magician, they usually say, I'm going to pull out a rabbit from this hat, abracadabra, and then they do. If we come at it from that frame, we create as we speak, then isn't it true that we will call ourselves forward and create energy when we speak about ourselves in a positive light? We're great at speaking in negative light. I'm terrible at this. I'm not as good as I should be, could be, want to be. But if that part's true, what if the opposite? What if the other side is true? I started this by saying I'm one of the best in the world at helping people identify their gifts, what they're built for, and building a life and business around that. I have not polled all 7 billion people in the world, but I can tell you that I'm extremely good at that. And that statement calls me forward and into an energy that allows me to do it. So my invitation to all of you is take a look at where is there an opportunity for you to call yourself forward by owning something you're really good at. The chats went too fast, so I don't have all the answers yet. But what was that thing that you owned that you're better at than most people? Can you verbalize it? Not in a way to compare, to say I'm better than you, but a way to call yourself forward. I've got 3 words I wrote on a piece of paper. If you have a piece of paper, I encourage you to write them down. Have, do, and be. Most people, the order that they put these in and how they live their lives is this. I need to have something in order to do something, and then I will believe I am something. I need to have the title in order to do the leadership or give my opinion or be honest. And then I'll feel like I'm a success or that people respect me. I need to have the girl or boy in order to be romantic, do the romantic. And then I will feel fulfilled, sexy, believe in myself. Here's the secret to magic. This is, if you start to create this way, your life will change. And ask yourself, who do I need to be in order to do what is necessary to have what I want? What do I need to be in order to do the things necessary to have what I want? Usually we want to have the thing before we give ourselves permission to be the thing. So, who do you need to be in order to stand in front of a room, in order to walk into a room, in order to approach somebody and say, what I'm better at than most people in the world is math, is cooking, is public speaking, is teaching? Who do you need to be to call yourself forward into that? As opposed to, a lot of us sit with, if they would just give me a compliment, if they would just say this to me, if they just gave me this money, this title, looked at me this way, then I would give myself permission to be something. My invitation to all of you is, can you be that just because it's your right to? I want to pause there because I'm going fast. What is something that's landing for people, or what's a question that is coming up as I speak? Put that in the chat, please. What's landing? What's not? I am fully open to people disagreeing with me, challenging. Or what is a question that's coming up that, man, you would love to address? And this is where I invite you to be innovative. I invite you to lean into the being, put something in the chat, play differently. Lisa, I saw yours. About the question we need answered. Beautiful. I'll go into that in a second. Juliet, your love and a being energy feels like you get to receive this. You need to believe you're something before others will believe it. Yeah, Michaela, my invitation to you here would be let go of others even needing to believe it. Just believe it yourself and let them believe whatever they're going to. Jen, whatever you want, yeah, who do you need to be? Let me address Lisa. Lisa, are you open to coming off of mute and asking a question?
Yeah, I just didn't get the question at the very beginning, and sorry for not being like fast enough, but I was like, what is he asking for? I'm like, I didn't get what, and it's, I think someone else too was like, how do we know the question is going to be significant to us? Like,
sure.
I mean, is there some stumbling block I'm having? And then if that was answered, then.
Well, let me ask Lisa, what's the question you constantly walk around asking yourself?
I don't have one question.
Give me any of
them. Well,
pick one.
I don't know. It's kind of a minutia about all the different projects. Like, how will I hire this new person, or how will I find my next PhD student for my research? Something like that, like trying HR issues, fundraising, all that.
Can I slow you down for a second?
Boring. Yeah.
Pick one. Let's answer it.
Okay. How do I get qualified talent for my laboratory?
Okay. So first I want to teach about the questions thing, and then we'll answer that. So when you walk into a restaurant or bar and you see another person that might be attractive and you have the question, will I marry them? Can you answer that right there? No, because there's probably about 15 at least questions that you need to answer before you know that, right? Our minds are supercomputers. We are built to find the minds are built to find solutions and answer questions. If there is a question that you can't answer, you're not asking the right question. You're usually too far ahead. You can't answer if you're going to marry that human being that you're looking at the bar, because you need to answer a bunch of smaller steps. So if there's something that you can't answer, let's slow down. What are the 5 or 10 things that you can answer right now? I usually play a game with my clients where I say, great, ask a question and we will answer it. Boom, 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 boom. So you said, how do I find my next qualified student? Was that it? Great. So let's slow down. Let's really go micro. And let's ask ourselves all questions that can be answered. They might be, well, how do I define a qualified student? How do I filter for that? What's the quickest way I can put myself around those? Who else has found a qualified student? And just start to create momentum around answering questions. If I was doing it around the gentleman or woman in a bar, I'd ask, well, are they available? Do they have the same values as me? Do they live in this country? Right? There'd be all these things that would create momentum. Okay. We go from there. Does that help?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great way. I understand conceptually there too, breaking it down to the little questions, and so that's cool. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. The reason I asked that question, especially in short sessions, is I want to see who will be bold enough to say, here's what I'm here for. Here's the question I want answered. My invitation is come and get what you wanted. Why are you here? If you have a question, be so bold that I'm not leaving until I get that answered. I didn't see anyone say, what's my magic, which is interesting. But I'm not here to judge questions, but if you show up somewhere and you're clear on the first thing is ask yourself, why am I there? What's my intention? What's my reason? If you don't know it, don't be there. Secondly, get what you came for. Really get what you came for. I'm not here to talk at you. I'm here to support you. This is one of the most joyful things I can do. I adore Jen and what her and the team have created here. So I'm here to support you. So if anybody wants to get something from this session that they haven't yet, put it in the chat. Let's see if we can do it in 6 minutes. And while they're doing that, I'll close with a couple things.
And then can you type in who that person was that you read from at the beginning too?
Oh, Marianne Williamson. Yes. Marianne Williamson. Beautiful soul. I'll close with a couple things. It is your right to own your gift. As you do that, as Marianne Williamson said, as you do that, you give other people permission to do the same. As we own what we're great at, we also give ourselves permission to not be great at everything. A lot of us struggle with how I got to be good at everything. No. I just want you to be good at what you're built for. And if you don't know what you're built for, well, then start to play with verbalizing things to call yourself forward and lean into something that excites you. Julia said, I'm here to get my next journey started, to get excited about it and nothing else. Beautiful. My invitation to you, Julia, is consider the fact that you've already started. A lot of us get stopped at the starting line. We're like, I need to start. What says you haven't already? I think you're already at mile 10. And if you can see yourself as that, then how can you just build progress versus saying, I got to get out of the starting blocks? As we step into our power, we allow others to do the same. As we step into our power and our magic and the gifts and the things we're built for, it allows us to not have to be great at everything. And as we start to communicate the things that energize us, then we start to step into a vibration and a level of creativity, of problem solving, of solution-oriented thinking that is unmatched. And that is the game. That's the game. That's the magic. Whatever brings you into that energy, that's where your gifts lie. I said we would stop at 1:30. I want to honor time. Does anybody have a question for me? I can't see everybody, so just take yourself off mute and the floor is yours.
Matt, how did you figure out what your magic was?
I paid attention to what energized me and really felt good. I also did a research project, is what I call it. And I went around to people that I knew that knew me well. And I said, what shows up when I show up and what leaves when I leave? And they would say things like passion, energy, vision, dreaming. You always help me believe things are possible, expansion. And so I just took those words and I kind of created what calls me forward, what energizes me. And I love helping people expand their thinking, their doing, and their having. Like those are like, and when I can expand those, it fills me up. And so really call yourself forward towards what energizes you. You deserve it. One more question. Anybody? All right. I want to honor time. I want to thank Jen and team. This is a beautiful platform. Thank you for me being able to give back. I have a lot of respect and really am grateful to UConn. I do run a two-day thing in May that we do talk about magic, where they can give you my information and we can talk about that. And if there's any way I can support you or anybody here, of course, I'm open to that. Jen, I appreciate you.
Thank you, Matt.
All right. Have a beautiful day, everybody.